Hello. Good afternoon, everybody. How are you guys doing? Oh, that's okay. Good morning, everyone, or good afternoon. It's 12 o'clock. So please join me in recognizing Andy Flager with the City of Roswell for his service on the board. Unfortunately, he had to step away from his position at this time. So we would like to sincerely appreciate Josh Brown with Gwinnett County for stepping into his position. So please help me give everybody a round of applause. Members, please go onto our website to verify the information and contact information that we have listed is correct. If not, please reach out to Kate or Kelly to get all that information updated. Remember to submit nominations for the Board of Directors for 2027. Nominations close August 1st, and we will be hearing from our nominees at the August meeting. Remember to submit your awards for the 2026 Annual Awards Meeting. That window closes October. And then our Brave Social event, that is a joint meeting with Georgia ITE. We're still looking for 2 sponsors, so please reach out to our new Board of Director, Josh Brown, if your company is interested in sponsoring. Troy, can I call you up here to give some updates on the food drive and our next meeting?
Thank you, Kaitlyn. I just want to thank everybody that brought food today. This is going to go to the Must Ministry, which serves 7 counties in the metro area. They're right up the road from here on Cobb Parkway. They support 70,000 people a year and give, I think last year it was 2+ million pounds of food away. So thank you for all that. If you guys have additional donations or you guys have anything else you want to give, you can kind of see the flyer or the e-blasts that have been going out, and you can reach out to me. I can coordinate picking that up, or you guys can do the Amazon wish list that was attached in the email as well to give some donations that way. And then with our next meeting is going to be our July training, and it's going to be hosted with at GDOT District 7 office. We have a cap of 40 people, but we are going to open up an online option for this, hopefully next week. And then this is going to be talking with GDOT IT and AECOM's communication team about how to the new applications, how you can kind of do Palo Alto and Cisco, how they set those up remotely, and how they deploy the new technologies. There's also going to be some communications about the new applications that are out there that GDOT IT uses, and also how GDOT kind of restricts access to their network and why that is, so that I know you guys are going into GDOT and like, can we get this technology on your network? And they kind of say no, but they're kind of going to give you the reasoning why and how you could actually get that done. So look for more e-blasts. That's going to be on July 29th. And then after that, we're going to have a social at Moondog. Got it right. So look forward to that, and just let me know if you guys have any questions. Thank you all.
And now our sponsor, Utilicom. Would you all like to do a spotlight?
He's all warmed up. Yeah, sure. Ready for a nap after the appetizers. Hey, everyone. My name is Dan Puzo. I'm the Regional Sales Manager for Antera Technologies. Thank you so much for inviting me here today. A little bit about Antera Technologies. Antera is a leading developer and manufacturer that provides high-quality industrial networking and communication product solutions. We're based in Las Vegas, Nevada, with manufacturing in Taiwan, in Warsaw, Poland, and a new BABA-compliant line actually in Las Vegas. Since 2005, Antera has offered a full spectrum of product lines that feature reliable Ethernet switches, extended temperature tolerance, and rugged enclosure designs. Think a device that has to be installed outside or in a rugged environment and just has to last. Our product lines range from industrial Ethernet switches, industrial wireless devices, Ethernet media converters, serial communication devices, and newly released LTE and 5G cellular lines. Our vast professional experience allows us to deploy a wide array of products worldwide and mission-critical applications across various markets, including automation, security, oil and gas, power utility, medical, and a heavy emphasis on transportation and ITS. Antera's factory is ISO 9001 certified. We are TAA compliant. We are NDAA compliant. As mentioned, we do have BABA compliance as well for certain switch lines. If you need an industrial network to last. If you need something installed in a rugged environment, we're happy to help. Take a look at your solution and figure out what we can do to help. Thank you again, Utilicom, and nice to meet everyone.
Thank you, Utilicom and Antera. These meetings wouldn't be possible without our wonderful sponsors. So now I'm going to introduce our speakers for today's presentation. Joseph Hacker is the Principal Planner for Transportation Technology and Operations at the Atlanta Regional Commission since 2024. Prior to that, he served 12 years as Professor of Planning and Economic Development at Georgia State University, where he was the undergraduate program director. Before that, he spent 11 years as Manager of Transit, Bicycle, and Pedestrian Planning at DVRPC, the Philadelphia MPO, and 3 years with Delaware County Planning. He received his doctorate in city and regional planning from the University of Pennsylvania in 1997, focused on women's transportation travel. He is an AICP certified planner. And Daniel Tongson is an experienced technology professional with nearly 30 years in the information technology field. He currently serves as an IT project coordinator for Gwinnett County Transit since 2021, where he leads and supports technology initiatives that enhance public transportation operations, safety, and customer experience. In addition to his responsibilities within transit, Daniel works closely with the Traffic Management Division on a variety of technology initiatives, supporting both internal operational improvements and transportation-related projects. His collaborative approach helps align technology solutions across the department to improve efficiency, connectivity, and the service delivery throughout the county, or country, whatever floats your boat, Daniel. So please help me give a round of applause to our speakers today.
Good afternoon. Thank you for having us. Thank you for getting me out of the house. My wife appreciates it. And I want to tell you that today was one of the days when I was trying to get here when everyone drove the speed limit, which is, when is that ever going to happen again? Anyway, I'm filling in, or I'm not filling in, but Jordan Hall, who is our third speaker, will not be able to join us today, so I will be faking it during her part, so raise your hands when you know that it's when I'm faking it or not. So anyway. So what we're talking about today is the ITS4US project, the deployment of the Georgia Mobility and Access Planner. The way I want to like to introduce this is a set of integrated solutions that support safe and complete trips throughout the region. And I think that one way to think about what I'm going to show you, or what we're going to show you, is that this is sort of a proof of concept of what I like to think of as kind of the interlinking of many kind of connected infrastructures into a single, that's sort of managed through a single app. And I think that that's a really nice way moving forward to think about how this works, because it is really uniting items that already exist in the universe and towards a very good end. Oh, here we go. Am I supposed to do something different? Danny. Is it on the side? Do I just touch? I'll be talking over this slide for the next 30 minutes. Here we go. Great. Thank you. So a little context for this. This is part of a $40 million program put out by ITS Joint Program Office in the Department of Transportation. There were 4 program awards. Actually, there were 5 originally, but only 4 made it to the second phase. And what we've got here are, we've got the Heart of Iowa Transportation Authority Agency, HRTA in Iowa there. We have us, of course, Georgia Department of Transportation, University of Washington, which is both in Washington, Oregon, and a little slice there in Maryland, and the Niagara Frontier Transportation Authority. Each of these projects in each of these areas is a little bit different. Ours is the only one that uses technology to unite technologies. I think the Niagara uses automated vehicles in some capacity. Iowa, I think, has an app that unites client cases with some sort of a travel item, and I don't remember what Washington does. So, yeah, I can't remember everything. Okay, so I think what's important here now are talking about the deployment phases. There are really quite a few here. Obviously, there's a pre-deployment phase, but we get to phase one. What we're talking about is concept development. This is a case where we're looking at how we look at IDing stakeholders. Who is it that's going to be using this app? How do they, and then we get to determining needs. How are they going to use it? What do they need to travel? What's important there? And then system requirements and measures. How do we, what does this system need to work, and what measures are we going to use? What metrics are we going to use to evaluate it? I actually came on in phase 2 of the project, which is design and testing. This was where the softwares were developed and tested in the field. This took quite some time, took a little bit longer than expected. I would just tell you, any of you that are working with the technology know that the timelines, technology doesn't always work with the timelines we set, and I know that we went over a number of times in getting it right. Phase 3, which is what we just started recently, is the operate and evaluate phase. We started this in June, in May, end of May, June. It'll run for a year, and what we're doing is we're actually operating the app and taking measurements, evaluating how it works, making tweaks, because after that, beginning next June, this will be our post-deployment phase, and in this case, we'll go 5 years. We'll operate it 5 years as part of our federal requirements. So we're just kind of approaching what I would think of as the halfway point in this project. Oh, gotta do this. So again, this is a proof of concept project, and what we're showing here is the study area that we're working in, which is Gwinnett County. The Safe Trips in a Connected Transportation Network, which is the title of our project. The area that we're working in is about 315,000 people, of which about 33,000 or 10% of the population are seniors, and about 15% or about 17,000 households include someone that is disabled. And that is really the primary audience or primary use case for this app, the GMAP app. The site was chosen because there already was technology installed in the area. It had already benefited from that to a large degree. It aligned with major para and transit routes. It's a suburban, kind of a sprawled land use, high and wide speed roadways, and inconsistent pedestrian infrastructure. I think it's one thing I think it's important to say here is that the app does in fact work outside the area. I'll talk about that in a few minutes, but as a proof of concept, this is where it is being staged. Do I just press? I'm afraid to press it. I'm going to show you a video.
You want to get around Gwinnett County safely, based on your travel needs. So we created something to help you do just that. The Georgia Mobility and Accessibility Planner, or GMAP, is an application being developed through a collaboration between GDOT, ARC, and Gwinnett County. It is sponsored by the United States Department of Transportation ITS4US program, as one of 4 deployment sites developing innovative solutions, so you can have access to transportation that allows you to live as independently as possible. GMAP's goal is to help all pedestrians and Ride Gwinnett fixed route transit travelers, especially people with disabilities, older adults, and travelers with limited English proficiency, get to the grocery store, appointments, or anywhere you need to go in Gwinnett County safely and efficiently. Travelers will be able to use GMAP on the website or the mobile app to create a personalized trip plan based on their needs and preferences. GMAP will be able to improve your transportation experience and is capable of being used to help navigate physical infrastructure, avoid unexpected obstacles like roadwork, and help ensure your location visibility throughout your travels. Now, what does this mean for you, the traveler? Let's explore the innovations to support accessibility you will be able to count on along your future journeys. Before your trip even begins, you'll receive a safe, accessible route on the app based on the profile you create, which will help you identify the best route for your journey. During your trip, you'll get turn-by-turn directions, alerts, and transit priority. Alerts will be provided audibly, visually, or with haptic feedback based on your needs. Trusted companions can also view the trip and get up-to-date notifications and location data during your travels. If you are taking transit, a Ride Gwinnett vehicle will be notified of your location, potential needs, and may even be given signal priority. While crossing busy intersections, extended timers at pedestrian crosswalks will be provided if needed. For added safety, vehicles that have connected vehicle capabilities will receive a broadcast safety message notifying the drivers of your presence while you are crossing the signalized intersection. You'll also receive turn-by-turn directions to a safe, accessible entrance at your destination. If your destination is the Gwinnett County Justice and Administration Center, you can even be routed while inside this building. We want you to feel confident and safe while you get where you need to go all around Gwinnett County. To learn more and to sign up for project updates, visit georgia-map.com today. GMAP, your journey, your path. Mobility through greater accessibility.
All right. So that's a nice overview of it. This map here is really, it's sort of a graphic illustration of what you just saw. We call it the Wendy diagram. This illustrates Wendy's complete trip. I think there's two items here that are really salient to me, and I think I want to make clear. One is that your trip is personalized. When you enter the app, when you make your pre-trip setup, what you do is you put in what your profile is. And it could be everything from wheelchair to crutches to I'm fine, whatever it is. There's a whole range of physical and whatever that can be addressed through personalization. The second thing here is something called the Trusted Companion feature. This is a case where someone may want to travel alone. I often think of someone like my mother who wants to travel alone, but if I was listed as her trusted companion, I could follow her and get the same alerts that she gets at every step of the way, which I think is both provides a level of comfort and safety for the traveler as well as for me, the son. So I think that's a good thing. Begin the trip. You can see here, kind of going to reiterate very quickly what the video showed you, but you receive turn-by-turn instructions, directions based on your personalized profile. You get alerts. If you turn the wrong way, it tells you to turn back. And what happens when you enter the transit stop area, geofence transit stop area, the operator is notified that someone is there that may require assistance. And if they are running behind by more than a minute, the bus is given transit signal priority to get through, to get up back on time. You can see here, notify of needs. If you reach crossings, any sort of crossings, what happens is it automatically triggers what we call PEDX, extending the pedestrian signal in the direction of travel. This is pretty cool, and one thing I think it's also important to say about this is that these functions, you're not clicking in your phone while you're doing this. What happens is by just walking up, it does it. Right, so there's not like you don't have to be fumbling with your phone while this is happening. It's pretty neat when you do it too, because it really does work. I love that. Also, it broadcasts messages to any cars or vehicles in the vicinity, alerting people that you're there. And when you get to your destination, at this point it's 2 destinations in the study area, it gives you indoor navigation to the office of your choosing, or the office that you've chosen. So it's pretty cool. It really does work with you the whole way. One of the things I think that's really important with this is the replicability of this. It uses an open platform. So I think we used the ATL Rides was the platform we used. Has an open architecture, right? It's modular in the sense it can add, upgrade, swap components pretty readily. Open source software. It's got an open trip planner. Source code available for anyone to inspect, modify, or enhance. This is a really nice feature, so someone else could take it on. And it opens standards. Here's where we're talking about GTFS and GTFS real time with transit data, common format, shared rules, and so forth. So we're not using anything proprietary. We're not using anything that is private or withheld. This is all open and able to be replicated or expanded, really, is what we're looking at. Right, Georgia Mobility Access Planner. And what I want to talk about now is the multi-agency coordination through the partner engagement. So here's a case where we are not building this for us. We are building it for people that have needs to be addressed through the planner. And as a result of that, in order to get sort of what they call this ConOps properly, the concept of operations, we had to go through a number of different agencies in order to determine what it is this thing needs to do. And you can see here is there's an enormous list here. Aging and Independent Services, Department of Education, Council on Developmental Disabilities, Spectrum Autism, Exceptional Foundation. We have training partners, Tools for Life, Disability Link, Georgia Vocational Rehab, Georgia Department of Health. Right, so what we were doing, we tried very, very hard, and this is the part that Jordan would talk about, to reach and work with the folks that would be using it to determine what it is they need and what functionalities would suit their purposes. So just like in the phases of the development of the app, we have phases here where concept development, where we had the interviews to determine needs. We had a walkthrough for the concept of operations, requirements walkthrough, what is needed, and then a deployment plan walkthrough, right? All of these things well thought out in advance so we can begin designing the software for the app. Phase 2, right, system architecture walkthrough, system design walkthrough, agile processes. Those that know systems engineering, this probably sounds like this is a systems engineering process, operational readiness demonstration, and then now we are live. We are really now, the outreach and training is really just started kicking in, and we're in the process of getting feedback. Yeah, actually, I was saying in the app, there is a feedback module. After you make a trip, you will get something that asks you what it is, how you experienced it, and provide feedback. So many things to talk about. I won't get them all down. Phase 1, again, user needs and priorities. You see the interviews, the walkthroughs, and so forth. This is, again, speaking to the people that need to understand so we can understand what it is they need. Design review. Here we start talking about like what kind of profile, like what categories do we need? Here you can see here, no assisted device, stroller. A stroller, right? You don't even it doesn't even require you to be disabled or a senior. Just anything that would impede or require some help with your mobility. Again, these documentation of your systems architecture, your systems design for the feds, and then mobile profile meeting series. And this is a number of years ago, going through what it is we need to have put together for this. And then prior to our showcase, which I think Danny's going to talk about a little bit, we had a design build test and we had a readiness demonstration. You can see Jordan here is in the wheelchair in the pink. She was really central to pushing and helping to advocate for, in this process, for the types of functionalities we were looking for. And then what we did was we did some demonstrations here, and right, just to make sure we were ready to go with it. And then, let's say go. Is this you, Danny? Oh, next one. All right. And then the phase 3 is the promotion of it. Here we are now. This is you. Okay, okay. He knows it.
This is my part. You can sit down now. I'm just kidding.
Get him off stage.
Yeah. So as you've seen, the ORD was very instrumental into getting to phase 3. This is where, on this wonderful day, May 7, 2026, this is where we had the operational compatibility showcase. All these days are difficult when you're trying to develop this, but this day was especially when you had a thunderstorm come in, and we really wanted to be very public about this, this phase. But it happened, it went really well, and here's what it looked like that day. We had around 150 attendees come through and see in the auditorium of GJAC that we had a ribbon cutting. They came. We had different speakers from USDOT, GDOT, ARC, all our partners, SILC. And then we had a field demonstration where people had the opportunity to jump on a vehicle, download the program, and see for themselves actually how it worked. It was. The questions were abundant, and people were really excited about some of these things. People out in the public came and seeing it, and they gave their own feedback. It was a great thing to see. So this was a community event, and our partners, I'll speak on them, SILC, Disability Link, Special Needs, whoever knows that, that's really good. The Bobby Dodd Institute, right, Gwinnett, of course we needed them. Gwinnett County Health, Human Services, and Georgia Tech. So as you can see, these are some of the pictures of that day. It went really well, like I said. Some of the things that resulted from it was right away we get a significant amount of downloads, which we'll get into in just a moment. We had a news segment, and then we had an article on the Gwinnett Post. So now we're talking about next steps. So we're going to have continued outreach, and these are the methods that we're going to be using to get the word out. And not just these, but we'll go over them. We have websites, we have our social media, we continue to have community outreach, public meetings, conferences like this, journals, articles. We recently had a podcast, so this is all very exciting. And the big thing right here is also word of mouth. This right here is your opportunity to download it for another 100 downloads. Y'all ready? And check it out. It's a really good tool. Even if you just look at it, sign in, take a look at it. It has all these features that one can use and to share with others. So on behalf of Joseph, Jordan, who couldn't make it, myself and the team out here, I want to thank you so much for being with us. Also take note on the bottom left-hand corner, the website, actually both websites, so you get any more questions, some training, and thank you very much.
job we did, Danny. No questions.
I have probably, it's a stupid question, but why doesn't this project allow everybody who might want to make a trip? Because it's probably desirable that we allow more complex trip making than just driving our car itself to and from, whatever.
So the question was, why isn't this for everyone? Is that the question?
That's basically the question.
It is for everyone. It is designed for the most vulnerable users, which means it would work for the least vulnerable users. It would work, as you saw in the profile, it would work if you had no need for assistance. It works any way it works. It works for everyone. All you have to do is have it downloaded. So it does work for everyone.
Okay. And then let me follow up in a sense. Does it promote ride sharing in any way, including transit, of course?
Well, it is geared to transit and pedestrian movement, and no, it doesn't at this time have any sort of ride share functionality.
Thank you.
Am I done? Oh, yeah. Yes, good job.
Quick question. I'm over here on the side. You said in the beginning you could set up the ride share, or you could set up the path on the web or using the app. Do you have to have the app to go route? Like, do you need to have a smartphone to be able to do the service?
No, I don't believe you do. I believe what you can do is you could use a laptop, and I think that there are operators. Is that the right word for it? I don't know. People that can call in, and they can assist you with some of that. That's part of the training. Actually, they're part of the people that had spent. And I believe there's a, at the call center, there are people that, if this was your call, it would be directed to them, and they would help route you.
You had mentioned that we're in the phase where we're getting feedback and all of that. Do you have any information about what kind of feedback you're getting from the advocacy partners or the users?
I don't know specifically what we have gotten because it just opened. I know that we had a flurry of downloads, and at the meeting on Monday where we discussed it, it sounded like they're just pulling together that information, and the first quarter survey results are being pulled together. I mean, literally, this thing has, been on the street a month, 4 weeks, maybe? I mean, it's just got going, so we got to give it a minute. But yes, we can, and that's something I can report back, or we can report back to.
This would be collecting a ton of data. Do you guys have a plan for what you're going to be doing with that information?
Well, I think some of it go to any sort of updates or upgrades to the platform. It would help us define what types of services may be needed. Does it, if we're finding that people aren't able to achieve something in some area for some reason, that would alert us that there's an issue there. I know that one of the other things it does is that you are able to report if, say, it gives you a sidewalk route, a pedestrian route, the sidewalk is damaged or there's some impediment there, you can report that, and then Gwinnett County would receive some sort of report. So there is a feedback with it, and the information obviously would be used to help with upgrades or to the app. the next steps on this one. Well, the next steps is that we will hear a live app, and your time and to gather more data, perhaps refine around it. I think as more RSUs and OBUs and whatnot come online in different, more connected vehicles are on the streets, I think you're going to see it's going to connect to more things, and I think become more alive. Because right now, someone asked me as I walked in how many downloads there had been so far, and I think it's 136. So it doesn't seem like a ton, but you got to start somewhere. And we think, that as we start getting into the 5-year period, and people start getting used to it, and we start, sort of building things around it to work with it, I think it's going to expand, and we're just going to keep collecting the data on that and reporting. So. That is what we're in process. The feds do not pay for the next 5 years. That is incumbent upon us. And so we are in the process of identifying what the costs would be. Because the costs, again, we're not going to be designing anything at this point. So determining what the costs of operation would be and coming up with a budget, and then we're looking for funding. Right now, we're currently in the process of doing that. Right now, we're currently in the process of doing that.
So I had a question about, kind of related to the data in the last questions, but how are you measuring effectiveness? Like, is it more, given you're going to have all that, probably like GPS data?
Mm-hmm. What at the number of down more people that use it, then we're able to collect more data to where we're going. And the use isn't large yet to establish any clear patterning right now.
Is there an area range limit for the app? Is it only in Gwinnett, or how wide is the area?
That's a great question. I got asked on a presentation to state independent. They said, "Oh, so it's all throughout the state of Georgia?" And I was like, "No, it's in a wedge of Gwinnett County." But we've been playing with it. People in our office have been playing with it, and because it's using the ATL Rides platform, if you're anywhere in the region, it'll work, and it'll give you the route. It'll tell thing. Now, not all of the functions, but I think it was my boss's boss had used it, and he said that it was, it gave him some of the functionalities he didn't expect to worked, and he was in South Fulton or something like that, far away from it. So it works. You could just use it as your app, but it requires the other infrastructure to be in place for it to fully work. But say if you were out, it would still send out messages to connected vehicles with that technology. There may be other things that it does. If you go the wrong way, it would tell you, that kind of thing. So there are functionalities that work, but it wouldn't say connect with everything like the TSP, the PEDX may not be there. Yeah, so it works. You don't have to be in that wedged for it to work.
Not a question. I was going to answer that.
I know
Explain that question about the performance. So we are measuring a whole host of
Tell them who
parameters.
you are. Tell them who you
I'm Anshuman Gwynn. I'm with Georgia Tech. part of the team. So helping me with the monitoring of the performance metrics. So that would include like the number of users, how many people are actively using it, how many trips they're making, how many trips per day, means monitoring the increase and decrease of the number of users. Also, we are measuring the trip deviations, like means the trips that we are suggesting end to end, means are the users actually following those paths that we are giving them, or if there are any deviations. And then we have surveys, pop-up surveys in the app, which ask them like, why did you deviate from this trip? Like we are trying to understand what's going on, means, and we are in a continuous loop of improving the app with that.
Thanks.
I got a quick question. I know you haven't got the surveys back from the users, but have you had feedback from Gwinnett County Transit about the accessibility of buses being able to find riders, people that there's a hard time kind of identifying and matching up to buses and riders? Is this helping them identify where to actually pick up and where those riders are?
Danny?
So technically what happens is when you use the app, the operator will receive a message. So there's nothing specifically directing them to a person along the transit route, but they'll get a message on their tablet saying this is what they need and this is what they're using.
Any other questions?
I know Ride Gwinnett has an app where you can book your rides and your trips, particularly with microtransit. What's the integration between the two apps?
Good question, but there's none at the moment. So.
You know, I would just say to that the open architecture for it, it is possible, like I think part of the mission in the 5 years is going to be trying to expand it, and it would be, and the microtransit has come up in meetings as group that we would want to include because they offer services in some, service area expansion that could be really helpful in this. So, right, like I say, it's sort of a proof of concept, and as we know how it works and determine the way it works and who's using it and how they're using it, I think it becomes an easier sell, not that we're selling it, but an easier sell to expand it to groups like benefits of it. We're trying to show what are the benefits of this app. I think that's some of the questions are getting at that. Early to 100% know. We know what it tests like. We know what it operates like. And I think that once those things are nailed down and clear in people's minds, I certainly think that that's, in our meetings, it comes up. I think this is something that's very possible and is easily integrated into these groups. So.
All right, please help me give our speakers a round of applause.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming to today's meeting. I'd like to once again thank our sponsor, Utilicom, for helping us put on such an amazing event. I want to thank Troy for putting together the food drive. This has been great. And hopefully I see all of you guys at our training in July. And please finish up your dessert, network. It was great to see you all today. Thank you.